Hey, it's Rachel. Welcome back to my channel. Okay, today we are going to talk about three of Nat Cassidy's short stories, novellas, books. Starting with, well, let's say we have Rest Stop, and then two of his that I read back to back. They came together in an ebook, Generation and The Art of What You Want. So I started with Rest Stop, and then at the end of Rest Stop, they had a little excerpt of, they had an excerpt of The Art of What You Want. I'm telling you, I was so hooked just from like the 2 pages that were in the excerpt. I immediately went to Amazon and ordered the 2 novellas and read them right there, back to back. had to read them. My jaw was on the floor. Okay, let's start with Rest Stop though. I'm on my Kindle, so excuse me. I just wanted to read the his content warning at the beginning. Heads up, the story contains a lot of bug stuff, snake stuff, face trauma, religious trauma, anti-Semitism, claustrophobia, general existential angst, and a little suicidal ideation. It also might get some yacht rock stuck in your head, but no need to thank me for that. So that is a content warning. You have been warned. Yeah. So this is about, I can't even remember his name, Abe. And he is on a little road trip in the middle of the night because his grandmother, I believe she has had a stroke. And is she in a coma? I can't even remember. And anyway, he is driving to see her. It's about like 3 a.m. at night, and he's driving to see her. So that kind of sets the scene for us. And he's alluding to the fact he's talking to his brother at the very beginning of the story, and it's obvious that he has a interesting relationship with his grandmother, and that she's a very tough person. We'll just put it that way. So yeah, he has a tough relationship with his grandmother. He's not exactly excited to go see his grandmother, but he's also kind of using it as an excuse to get away from his band member. He's in a band, and because he's kind of avoiding his band member, because they are kind of in a tiff, because his band member is with a woman that he is in love with. So that's not a spoiler. It's just is what it is. So he has a lot going on in his brain. And he finds himself at a rest stop, gas station, and he has to use the restroom. He sees a few cars in the parking lot. He sees this weird van. The license plate was CR8H8, create hate. Yeah, not a great omen. And he goes inside, and it's silent. Like, it's kind of an eerie feeling inside, but he's like, I'm just gonna get my snacks, I'm gonna go. But then he realized I should probably go to the bathroom because there's not a lot of stops in between, here and my destination. So he goes in the bathroom, and he gets locked in the bathroom, essentially. And he doesn't really understand if it's some kind of like the mechanism is broken, if someone has locked him in, if he accidentally did something, like, he's kind of like, wait, what's going on? Like, he's very confused at first, and then it gets kind of weird from there. So that's all I'm going to say for spoiler-free things. So we are going to get into spoilers now. I'm not going to like say the whole book, but I am going to get into spoilers. So if you don't want any spoilers in this, I will tell you how long I'm going to go into spoilers until I get to the other books. Okay. Spoiler time. So when he gets locked into the restroom, things start. Okay, so spoilers. So he's realizing now when he gets locked in the bathroom that, oh, this is happening to him. This isn't an accident. And then things start happening. like he mentioned, bug stuff, snake stuff. And he's in a tiny bathroom with only so much available to him to fight back, we'll just say. And, you know, when you're in a small space and you're not understanding what's going on and you're fearing your safety and you're not sure, you're still not 100% sure if this is happening to you or if it's just like coincidence, you really start questioning things and kind of questioning your sanity. So he starts, I'm still not really sure about this part, if this is just his inner voice, his inner monologue. He kind of starts hearing his grandmother talk to him and his friend, his bandmate, and the woman that he is in love with. And so that's kind of where this suicidal ideation, existential angst, religious stuff, where all that kind of stuff comes into play. So yeah, he really goes through it. There's a lot of stuff that happens. There's then it goes to total darkness, and then he's realizing that someone else is in control, and it's not just him by himself in here. Yeah. And then at one point, this is spoilers, so this is like really spoilers right now, he realized he can get out. Like, and I thought that the whole time, not the whole time, because obviously he was locked in at the beginning, but after a little bit, I was like, check the knob again. Like, I feel like you're gonna be able to get out now. Like, I feel like you can get out. Like, check it again. I wanted him to keep checking, but then it's like, oh, I forgot to say something. He was getting notes. What was that?
That's what she said. And you know what? What was that? Okay, James.
He was getting notes in the form of candy wrappers or something. I'm sorry, my memory is not great. And that he kind of had to put together. And the notes said something, aren't you glad you... Okay, it said, you're going to be glad you stayed in there. Excuse me? You're going to be glad you stayed in there? What? So, yeah. What do you do then? Stay in the bathroom for the rest of your life? Like, what do you mean you're going to be glad I stayed in there? Like, so that's just terrifying. Like, what is happening out there that's worse than being traumatized in this restroom? You know, like the claustrophobia, the fear that Nat Cassidy, oh my gosh, the way that he wrote that, you really feel it all. Like, this guy goes through it. Again, we are spilling all the tea. We're going through all the spoilers. So please, if you do not want to know this stuff, don't watch this. I'm going to tell you, I told you exactly where to skip to. So this is your own fault. Y'all, when he does eventually walk out, the guy, because there's a guy, when he walks out, he has a mask on with holes. And he says, I was wondering when you were coming out, did you see all this? Y'all, I don't know why, but that line just, I even wrote it down. I put, what a line. Because he had massacred everyone in that rest stop while Abe was stuck in the bathroom. He had killed everyone. Like, Nat explained the scene in the book. It just like the most disgusting scene. Did you see all this? Like, just like in such a comical, like cheerful almost way. He's so deranged. In his mask with all these holes, eventually googly eyes. Oh my gosh, did you see all this? Oh my gosh. And so Abe is just like, what do you mean? Like, what do you do? So then it's like, do I go back in the bathroom? Do I try and leave? That's all I'm gonna say. I know that was a lot of spoilers, but that's all I will say. It's It's so intense. It is so intense. There is way more, even though it's a short story, there is more to it. I didn't give away all the spoilers. Did you see all this? You guys will never forget that line. Like, oh my God, it's just amazing. It was incredible. Just a lot to it in such a short amount of time. It's just amazing. So, spoilers over. I loved it so much. I gave it 5 stars. Nat, you did it again. It was absolutely fantastic. You were able to cram so much into such a short story, and wow, I loved it so much. I will never forget. I would love to know what you would do in that scenario. Like, if you walked out and saw what he saw, spoilers are not over, I guess. But don't worry, I'll put in the timestamps. If you walked out and saw what you saw, would you immediately go back into the bathroom? Would you try to run? What would you do? I don't know what I would do. Your flight or fight would have to take over, I guess. Like your adrenaline. I guess you would know in that moment. But wow, crazy. Okay. Then we have the other 2 from the Cassidy Catacombs, Volume 1, it's called. Generation and the Art of What You Want. Generation was very interesting. It wasn't like, whoa, shocking, like, you know, but it was it was more sci-fi, would make a fantastic movie. This pregnant couple comes into this office of this woman, and this pregnant couple, I guess that's what you call them. The woman's pregnant. And obviously they are looking to do something to get rid of the baby. And you're like, what the heck? Because she's very far along. And then you find out that there is some sort of mutation that has happened to fetuses now and has made them completely like unhuman. And yeah, just completely, something has completely gone wrong. And they have like this whole booklet for them to look at as far as what they have turned into, what you can expect when the baby comes, what it's going to look like. And yeah. So yeah, it's not like some crazy, shocking thing, but it's still very impactful. And those aren't spoilers. That's literally, it's just the story. It's still a great read, still impactful, and I really enjoyed it. I gave it 5 stars. Even though it didn't like blow me away, I still, like I said, it would make such a great movie, and it was a really interesting take on like, it's not like aliens, it's like, it's us still, but it didn't give you any background as to why this was happening. But they were also like taking shots and drinking at this meeting, like this appointment. And yeah, it was very interesting. Okay. My favorite though, you guys, y'all need to read this so we can discuss. The Art of What You Want. So like I said, this was at the end of Rest Stop, a little excerpt. And this is what made me immediately download this and read. I read these instantly. Wow. So it starts out as this man talking to his doctor about him thinking that he's being haunted by his wife who is deceased. And I was immediately hooked. I'm like, whoa, this sounds so good. It was very creepy. It really pulled me in. I wanted to hear, wow, is he really being haunted? Like, where's the story going? Girl, if you think you know where the story is going, you have no idea. You have no idea. I can promise you, you have no clue. I can't tell you anything else because you just have to read this, you guys. Because it is like a haunting, but it's not, and it gets insane. It's just absolutely insane. I'm telling you, my jaw was on the floor at the end. I couldn't even believe the ending. I'm so serious. My favorite short story of the year so far. I don't think anything can top this. It's so crazy. Nat, you're crazy for this. You are crazy for this. It's so good. The Art of What You Want. Please go read this right now. Stop this video. Who cares about me? Go read this. It's just so good. It's so good. Please go read this right now. You guys, I'm sorry, I can't give you any more than that, but you can, or go read Rest Stop and then read the excerpt from this and see if it makes you want to read it. But yeah, he's talking about his dead wife, haunting him. Or he's talking about talking to his dead wife, and then his doctor's like, okay, and then he's like, oh, she died 3 months ago, or whatever, and she's like, oh, okay. And I was like, yeah, I want to read more of this, like, please tell me more. It's just so brilliant. Yeah, like I said, you'll never guess. It's just so good. It's so good. I don't even want to tell you like keywords. It's just, read it. Just go read it. Maybe trigger warnings, I guess. He had content warnings for Rest Stop, maybe trigger warnings for this, but I don't even want, just go read it. If you got trigger warnings, that's your own fault. I don't know what to tell you. This is just so good, you guys. Please go read them. Nat Cassidy is so brilliant. If you have not read Nestlings or Mary, go read those two. Out of the two, they're both 5-star for me. They're both so good. I still think that Nestlings edges out Mary the tiniest bit. It was my first Nat Cassidy. There's something about it that I just love so much. The ending, I would actually love to read that one again and relive that book again. And the ending, oh my goodness, I love that book so much. So I highly recommend Nat. Follow him on Instagram too. He's just a great person in general. I love it. He's a great writer. So yeah, these were all 5 stars for me. If these sound interesting to you, please go check them out. I know Amazon had the ebook, the Catacomb 2 Volume 1 for $2.99. I don't know what they are now. Same with Rest Stop, I'm not sure. But go check them out, you guys. They're so fantastic. If this sounds like your type of book, please go check them out. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you are not subscribed already, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.